Welcome. What is the reward of the saved? Is it paradise? Is it a return to paradise? It is heaven, which they say is for real? Is paradise coming on earth? The shocking truth in plain sight is that what the saved are promised was already known before the prophets or any other religion came on the earth. Welcome to ACAM, Afro-Cosmic Applied Metaphysics, a course that is postdoctoral quantum ancestral training designed for the biological entity ready to transition from a passive observer to an active wave collapser. We do not study history as a relic. We use it as the stepping stone and blueprint for the deliberate calibration of intent and frequency. The key enrollment dates are January 13th, 2026, and the closing date is February 9, 2026. You can send us an email with ACAM registration request as the subject line to our tips, where all truth is known to be in plain sight. Welcome aboard. Let us study this thing together. Now, it is rather shocking when you think about this. What the saved ones gain as a promise in every religion and every spirituality is the same. But where did it come from? What is the earliest well-documented afterlife paradise thinking come from? It came from ancient Africa. It predates the Abrahamic faiths by millennia. In the pyramid texts written 5400 BCE, and in the book of Coming Forth by Day, written about 3550 BCE, the righteous dead entered the field of reeds, which was known before the field of reeds as Nyikadzimu, Aru. After judgment by Ausari, this isn't a vague spiritual realm. It is real. It is written. So, what is the reward of the saved brought by the prophets? What the prophets bring? The promise of going to heaven, as we have already shown, was known before Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. The prophets revealed nothing new. The Bantu and ancient Hamid, 5100 BCE, in the pyramid text, they spoke and wrote about Nyikadzimu, the field of reeds, a perfect non-decaying version of the earth where the observer works without entropy. Then comes Zoroastrianism. They taught the same thing, the house of song or Garodema, or Hindu, they taught Swaga or Moksha. And then comes the Jews with the Garden of Eden, Ban Olam, and Christians with the New Jerusalem, and Islam with their Jannah. So the prophets missed everything to tell us from their prophetship, other than repeating without a clue of what they were actually repeating and promising their followers what was already known. Now, in order for us to capture that which these prophets missed, we shall redefine what is a human being. From ACAM perspective, a human is a primary waveform, once pure potential, that accepted to be pressurized into flesh, bones, and blood and become matter, and is now a localized point of consciousness residing in the third dimension. It operates as a vigilant quantum tuner, actively selecting and collapsing from infinite or potential with all possibilities a singular or plural material reality using waves or using thought waves. Whether it does that passively, it's also still a wave form entity. But eventually it will drop off the biological suit and exit it either as a refined, which is sovereign, or recursive, which is the reincarnating or the loop one that goes through again and again until such time it can be able to override the architect static and vibrate with its own frequency forever after. So when we go to the spells which were written by our ancestors, spell 110 in the book of Coming Forth by Day, we read the charter of the field of reeds. Here begin the spells of the field of offerings, being in control there, being a blessed one there, plowing and harvesting there, eating and drinking there, and doing everything that was once done on the earth. So now this wave collapser is now doing it at higher frequency, but still an active collapser. He has become Indlozi, Mzimu, or ancestor, or Aku. The Zoroastrians who came a few years later, 1800 BCE, also wrote about the Chinvat bridge, which is a judgment like the Ausari judgment. And also their Ahura Mazda like Ausari. This Ahura Mazda in the Garodemana, which is their paradise, which is their field of reeds. When you think about this, the Zoroastrian innovation for ethical truth is a simple copy of our ancestral one. We look again at the Hindu afterlife concepts around 1500 BCE onward. Swarga, a sensory paradise leading to moksha. The oldest Vedic texts, 1500 BCE, describe a paradise that is shockingly similar to the ancient African Nikadzimu or Aaru, a tangible, perfected reality where the sun never sets and the biological suit is restored to its most vibrant state, where there is eternal light in the world, where the sun is placed in that immortal, imperishable world. Place me, O Pavamana, where there is happiness and delight, pleasure reside, where the desires of our desire are attained. They make me immortal. Rig Veda 9:1-1-3. Same thing with Buddhists. The saga is same paradise with Aaru Nikadzimu. The Jews who came 1000 BCE, in their early beliefs in the Torah, they had no elaborate heaven. The dead went to Sheol, but this Sheol to them was a shadowy underworld. Duat Nikadzimu. They said it had no reward or punishment, so they were thinking of it like purgatory. But these were scribes who were trying to be very clever, but in their cleverness they missed something, because when you read scriptures like David slept with his fathers, 1 Kings 2:10, and Asa slept with his fathers, 1 Kings 15:24, and Hezekiah slept with his fathers, 2 Kings 20:21, and Ahaz slept with his fathers, 2 Chronicles 28:7. So Omri slept with his fathers, 1 Kings 16:28. Tobiah slept with his fathers, 1 Kings 16:6, and so forth. You now understand Nikadzimu. That's where they are. They are sleeping Nikadzimu. So what they are saying here is that they have not yet been ritualized to come where? From the dead. They have not had their rites finished. Their souls still asleep where? With their fathers. So that doesn't mean they are doing nothing. So they are copying again from where? The book of coming forth by day. They're sleeping with their fathers. Same. Now, when you look at other concepts that the Torah teaches, Gan, Eden, the Garden of Eden in Genesis 3:24, is a post-mortem reward, mirrors the field of reeds, Aru, in its tangible physical nature, a tangible paradise, just as in Kemet in Africa, Aru Nikadzimu, a perfected version of the Nile Valley, the Jewish world to come. Olam Haba is often described as a restored, perfect earth. Same story. No difference with Kemet and judgment and everything. It's materially the same. So the post-Babylonian Jews who came from Babylon had gone through the Persian and Zoroastrian influence. They brought the concepts now of everlasting life, of resurrection, for righteousness. And later the rabbinic texts written 200 CE describe Olam Haba, world to come, as a garden paradise with fruits, peace, sunlight, and spiritual mansions. Evidence the Talmud depicts as rivers of milk, oil, and honey, golden elements, and eternal calm, similar to Egyptian, African reeds, as well as Hindu streams. What the saved were promised was already known. The prophets never brought anything new. They borrowed a lot and hid a lot. We come to the Christians now with their New Jerusalem and heaven and utopia. Christianity builds on Judaism, codifies heaven in the New Testament. In Revelation 21:22 describes the New Jerusalem, a city with streets of gold, walls of jasper, crystal clear rivers of life, tree of life, bearing fruit monthly, eternal sunlight, no night, and the mansions. So when you read John 14:2, where Jesus says, there are so many rooms in his father's house, it is the same scripture, word for word, with that which was written in the Western text, Gathas Yasna, which is describing Garodemana as the best existence or a house of good, a divine mansion like a realm prepared by Ahura Mazda for souls who chose to do good, with eternal peace, light, abundance, post-Chinvat judgment, no prior equivalent to it in Christianity, except in ancient Hamit. Similar with chronologically, the absorption of all the goodness that you can think of, appearing and mirroring Roman cities, but perfected, appealing to oppressed early Christians. It's not unique. This echoes African Nikadzimu to the least you can think of. Before we answer, if we have something else different from some other prophet, maybe Muslims had a perfect revelation. Let's see. So if you go to the Islamic heaven, if you want to go to Jannah, and whoever asks Allah 3 times will be allowed to go there. Islam was revealed to Muhammad 632 CE. It describes Jannah, paradise, in the Quran as garden beneath which with rivers flows, and with fruits, dates, pomegranates, silk kerchiefs, gold bracelets, crystal waters, sunlight, tempered shade, mansions, and eternal peace without enemies. You can read Surah 47:15. When you look at this, the rivers of purified honey plus fruits of every kind, a better life for the faithful after judgment, chronologically, last among these, it draws from Jewish, Christian, Zoroastrian, Hamitic scriptures. Muhammad interacted with this, it's known in the pre-Islamic world. Arabian oasis idealizing scarce resources like water and fruits in a desert context. Why the parallels? Explicit evidence that the Quran is nothing new. The Prophet didn't bring anything new for the saved. What he did was to repeat what was already known, what was already revealed by African priest teachers. So the most vital fact underpinning the similarities in afterlife descriptions that we have gone across and looked into Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and many others is that they fundamentally copied the oldest, understandable, oldest teaching of the reward of the saved. Nikadzimu. Whether it is the field of reeds, the house of song, or the many mansions, the flowing rivers, the fruits, the peace, the calmness, all they are doing is describing what our ancestors gave as a blueprint, and it remains the same. The saved are those who are successfully entering this place. But what the prophets didn't teach now was that when we say the saved are those who have successfully gone into paradise, we are actually saying they have been able to mute the architect's static sin and entropy and chaos, and have earned the right to inhabit a stable, high-frequency realm of their choice. This is the shocking reality. This is the Father's house. It isn't a place you are let into. It is a frequency you finally tune into, even today when you are still living on earth. The reward does not come from the real creator at all. It is the reward, this capacity for you to collapse any illusion, to destroy any ego, and to have the truth which is infinite, the choice of comforting and terrifying everything that wants to destroy you. So the religious paradise is just a second matrix, it's a trap that you are being set to. It is a way to keep you as a wave collapser trapped in a loop of human-centric imagery forever. It is the ultimate aesthetic lie, promising you eternal life while actually selling you eternal stagnation. Stop being a victim of the static. Dial in your frequency until the illusion is muted by yourself. read the book No More Masters, because then you will know that my journey has just begun. Watch this whole video again, share and add a comment. If you want to study with us at Akam, send us an email on the email address shown here. You can order your book No More Masters from Amazon. I'm your manager to be preacher Rabbi LM Dumizu Kunikiti Mjakanja, saying what the prophets promised you is already there, was already there before they were born. Just go for it. Thank you. Thank you for watching, for liking our videos. Subscribe and share. Thank you. Have a great day.
Already know what to do. Not because a guru said so, not because it's trending, because the logic is older than language. One act, one ritual the ancients never forgot. Intentional morning light. ACAM begins here. A 21 module training in Afro-cosmic applied metaphysics.